Good morning, welcome to another video. Hope you're well. As you can see behind me, down a small river. Come out today. Real opportunist session today. The weather forecast for today was for it to chuck it down all day. And that was up until last night. I got up this morning and they forecast no rain at all. Just an overcast sky, no wind. It's been a cold night, as you can see, because I'm all wrapped up. But I thought, right, I'm going to go out. Now the Avon is like oxtail soup at the moment, so I thought I'd give that a miss, and we went to the Avon in the last video, if you saw that. So I thought we'd do something a little bit different, and this tributary of the Avon, this is the Warwickshire Stour. This just looked at a nice height, and I've got up here and it looks nice. There's about maybe a foot of visibility, if that. It's not a particularly deep river, this, in parts of it it's deeper than it is wide. But the stretch we're on today, I've not been up here for a while, certainly since last winter, and it looks nice. I thought we'd come and have a go. I've picked this swim out first. There's a bit of fast water. If I get out of the way, you'll see a bit of fast water running down here, and it runs along here under a bit of cover, and then down there under a bit more cover. So I thought we'd start up here, perhaps run past this cover here, perhaps try and get it to run underneath a little bit, and then fish off down there, as effectively we'll be baiting up down there anyway. Touching on bait, mashed bread and some bread for the hook. I have got some maggots, but I'm not intending on using them, just as a bit of a backup. But I think mashed bread is going to be our best bait, really. Let's say we'll have a few minutes in here, and then we'll try down there, and then we'll have a wander off upstream. Gear wise, I'm travelling very light today. I've just got my bag, net and rod. Got my Dow Tournament Pro 15-foot rod, Dow 125M closed face reel there, and a Drake alloy stem stick float there. I may change this dome top one out for a semi-domed or perhaps a stepped, just to get a little bit more sensitivity, but we'll suck it and see on that front. Yeah, it looks nice. Hopefully we can catch a few fish. I think chub are the most likely fish to catch today, but there's a chance of a nice big, really big roach in here, so you never know, we might catch a big roach as well, which would be absolutely wonderful, of course. Right, it's probably enough waffle, isn't it? We'll get set up, we'll get cracking. I'm trickling some bait in whilst I'm setting up, but we'll carry on trickling it in, see what we can do. Get covered in mashed bread. It's absolutely freezing, this mashed bread. I've taken it out of the fridge, and as I say, it's freezing cold today. It's about 4 degrees at the moment, so yeah, my hands are going to be rather cold shortly. We're going to be caked in mashed bread, but if we catch a few fish, it'll be worth it, won't it? Right, hopefully we can have a few fish out. Nice to catch a few chub. Last time we came to this river, which was a couple of videos ago, we really struggled. We were on the ledger that day on a different stretch, but it was a proper struggle. So hopefully, that being a couple of weeks ago, or a good week ago, hopefully we can do a bit better today. And I say, last night's cold probably won't have helped. I'm not sure quite what we're going to be able to do in this particular swim. I just fancied running past this bit of cover here for a few minutes before we go off downstream. I seem to remember a couple of years ago I managed to fish over there, sort of between those two trees. I was getting the float to run backwards up in there. However, the trees have grown since then. So I don't think there's any chance of getting a bait in there now. But we'll just run it through here, and like I say, we've got downstream to fall back on as well, which we're effectively baiting up at the moment by putting bait in here. But we'll just see what we can do. It may be a bit boily in here, but I'm sure there'll be some chub tucked away under there, but we're not going to be able to get the bait to run under there, I'm afraid. Right, how are we for depth? It's not too bad. Running through. I just sort of fancied holding back there a little bit. Very awkward to run through there. Bit of weeds smoothed out of our way nicely. I certainly think we will be better off in this next little run down, but we'll have 5 in here first. And it is rattling through there. I don't think anything's going to be sat in there. I think they're probably going to be tucked away under there, out of reach. The fish in here. Right, let's move sort of 8 to 10 metres downstream and we'll have this run through to that other cover down there. Right, we've got a nice steady run through here. Bit of a back eddy on the inside and obviously that cover down the bottom there. So quite a nice run through here. Little dip there, could have been the bottom. That's running down nicely there. What I like when I'm trotting, unless, you know, I know a swim is great, is I like a sort of walking pace to the water. I do find that to be a nice speed, water speed to run the float through. It's the sort of speed that, you know, fish like chub will want to be in. They want a bit of water going over their backs. They do like being in the flow. And of course it brings their food to them. You can just sit there and wait for some food to turn up. Right. I've come just mid-river and that's just running through a lot slower. We'll just let that float go wherever it wants. It may want to swing round into this eddy or it may run all the way through. It's a good thing about trotting a stick float, it's just takes a different line every time through the swim. Alright, there we go. Look at that. Didn't take long, did it? Doesn't feel like a monster. Well, that's cracking. I think it's only the second run through. Absolutely cracking. Oh well, he started fighting. There's no huge fish in this river, but that's some nice ones. Sure it's a chub. Sure he's going to try and get under my feet. Well, as I say, no monster, but he's putting a bend in this rod. Wonderful. Bit of bread flake in his mouth. Well, that's a cracking start. Well, there we are. That's about that. Load him up over the net. It's cracking. As I say, no monster, but certainly give the rod a workout. Right, we've got this nice deep guru specimen landing net here. So what I'm going to do is stick him in that down here. We'll rest him up for a few minutes. We'll see if we can winkle another one out. He's going to be happy in that big mesh down there. Make sure he's okay. Wonderful. What a start. That's absolutely wonderful. Often in this river though, it's one and out. But With this amount of colour, you never know. Right, let's have another one, hopefully. You'll probably see the float beyond my head if I get out of the way. It's quite a long way down there, just right on the inside. Perhaps I will keep this this domed one on, in the hope that you'll be able to see it on the camera. I say roving session today though, so we're not going to stick around in any particular swim for long. There's very little chance. There is a tiny chance, but there's very little chance of having lots of fish out of one swim. So definitely keeping on the move should hopefully keep the bites coming. That's the plan. Mr. Strimmer's started again. Not going to be the easiest trying today. I don't think we're going to get loads of bites, purely because of the clarity or lack of it in the river. As I say, there's about a foot, I would say. So unless I get this bit of bread a foot or closer from a chub's nose, I'm not going to see it. And we had the bite off that one, sort of right on the crease between the water that's going that way and the water that's going this way. As I say, we've got a back eddy in front of us. He was just on the crease. However, I do suspect there'll be some down there under that tree. We might be able to pull them up with feeding. Well, another 5 or 10 minutes at it, nothing yet. We'll give it a little bit longer before we have a move. It doesn't look like we're going to have another bite in here. Alright, that looked like a little bit of a bite. Is that a bite? It is. What was I just saying? I'm not getting another bite. Right on that crease again. Well, this is cracking. Oh, definitely a chub trying to get in the edge. Certainly a chub. Again, no monster, but great fun on trotting gear. Very funny, finicky little bite. You done? Yes. Mouth open. Got him. Cracking. Well, there we are. A little bit smaller than the first one, but still very welcome. Fantastic. Right. Clearly there are a few in here. Definitely worth a little bit longer, I think. Yep, they're okay there. I say this net with this big deep mesh in it is fantastic for just keeping fish just for a few minutes, and I wouldn't keep them in there for too long. But just for a few minutes. Because chub, if you put them back, that's the end of that. They go and spook all their mates, take the shoal with them for the most part. I mean, some places like when the fish are down on the Y, a lot of day ticket stretches and no keep nets, so you haven't got any choice, you've got to put them back. But generally, certainly on more intimate rivers like this one, if I put one of these back, that'll be the end of that. No more bites. It seems that they're in this crease line here. Another bite in pretty much the same place. Just in that crease there. If I get out of the way, you'll see. Just running along that crease. The faster water's sort of over there. Slower water is on this side, and it's sort of running towards me. You'll probably see by the foam. They just seem to be sitting on that crease in between. I'm just trickling this mashed bread in as well. I'm not going mad, because we want to get some bites. We don't want to feed them. We just want to catch them. So I'm not filling the place in. Well, I think we'll just have one or two more runs through, and then we'll go for a move. I'm not going to have all day at it or anything today. We'll just have 2 or 3 hours fishing today. So it'll be nice to cover a few swims. Let's get this pair back. As I say, we'll go for a move. Yeah. Cracking. Well, that's a great start. So here we are, perched precariously on the edge of the river. Right, let's see if there's anything under here that fancies a bit of bread. Sure, there'll be a chub or two under there. It's got to be, hasn't there? If I get out of the way, you'll be able to see. Tree roots, canopy, got to be a chub under there. Right, come on, Mr. Chub. Right, I'm dragging bottom there. It's very quiet. So I'm going to give it 10 minutes, given that we've now fished 3 swims without another bite really. Aside from a few little nibbles from smaller fish, I think. It was only a sort of short impromptu session this morning. Take advantage of the lack of rain. But we'll reap the benefits over the coming days as well, with the river's not coming up again. We have to get down the Avon in a few days' time, I think, if it keeps running off. We'll give it another 10 in here though, just see if we can winkle a fish out. We're getting a few taps, as I say, so there's clearly some fish down there. Just don't seem to have got Mr. Chub interested as of yet. We're in, finally. Of course, took some time. If you can hear a bit of a buzz, it's because the drone's up. Blimey. That's taken probably 45 minutes to get that bite. We finally had it. Fantastic. Just thinking of going home. Again, no monster. But he's certainly putting up a great scrap. Fantastic. Cracking. As I say, no monster at all, but over the moon with that. We've worked hard for that. It's probably the smallest one of the day. Certainly the one we've worked the hardest for. But we'll have another 5 or 10 minutes, I think, before we make a move. We've been at it just about 3 hours now, so yeah, we'll have another 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll make a move. I knew there must be some chub in here. For whatever reason, they've just been ignoring my hook bait for probably 45 minutes. Been in here. I stuck it out because I was convinced there was some fish in here. Looks like I was right. Well, we've been catching the smaller ones today. There's no massive fish in this river, but there's the odd 4 about, but you don't see them very often. In fact, I think my biggest fish from this river came from a swim just up there. I had a brace of sort of late 3s, upper 3s, one evening a few years ago. We'll have a few more runs through though, but yeah, it's not been easy today, but we've had 3 fish out. I can't complain at that. It's been very enjoyable as well, and quite unexpected. As I say, when I was going to bed last night, I was supposed to chuck it down all day with rain, and I thought it's going to be an absolute washout. And not only that, I was going to put all the rivers up in the days to come. And the Avon is very high anyway, like I mentioned, or relatively high, very coloured. Something down there keeps taking a float under. And it does look very much like a bite. It keeps making me strike at it. Which is certainly not doing the swim any good. Right, 5 minutes. No, that's it. I'm going to call it a day there. I think we're getting some bites off smaller fish in here. Nothing of any size, I don't think. I'm missing lots of them. They're very, very rapid bites. So, as I say, we'll call it a day there. That's been very, very enjoyable. We'll get this fella back. Here we go, chap. Gone. Cracking. So, a very enjoyable, just about 3 hours down here. Really, really enjoyed that. It's nice to get the float gear out. I haven't had it out for a while. But, yeah, well, hopefully we'll be able to get it out on the Avon before too much longer. I have to play it by ear a little bit, just see how quickly the colour drops out the Avon. But as soon as it gets the right clarity, I should certainly be out after the chub. And I do want to get out after some perch as well. Got a couple of spots I want to get after some perch. So that's for the forthcoming videos. And perhaps get down to the Y as well, do a bit of chub trotting and maybe even fishing for some barbel, depending on the weather. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your wonderful support, and I'll see you all again very soon.